Someone made a post over on X saying that Candy Owens has never lost a court case yet, except that's not true, is it? We'll get into one other court case that Candy Owens has lost, and that's thanks to the brilliant work of Nathan Livingston of Milk Bar TV and his excellent reporting. Now, having said that, Candy Owens recently lost the Australian High Court bid to enter into Australia. And while I'm not in favor of this government, my government's authoritarian leadership and barring someone for entering into this country, except if they are a known terrorist, I say cancel them. Don't allow them to come in. But Candace Owens, yes, she says some very provocative things, but she's not doing any more damage by her presence in Australia versus her on a microphone in her basement somewhere. She's doing the exact same kind of damage. It's not changing based on her appearance. Let's just say that, right? And yes, there are lots of things that I cannot stand that she says, and I'm always refuting and always saying that she is a liar, and it's easily proven that she is a liar. So I personally did not like how the Albanese government did this. Okay, Candy Owens is not allowed in, but yet we're allowed the terror brides of a known terrorist organization. We'll bring them in. They're totally acceptable here in Australia, even though in their own words, they want to destroy Australia in their own words, but yet we'll ban a podcaster that has very provocative viewpoints and opinions, especially about Israel. Now, Candace, she went ahead and blamed Israel, the Zionist lobby, for all that, but it wasn't the Zionist lobby at all. Because if it was the Zionist lobby, why in the hell are they letting in the amount of Muslims they're letting in? It just goes beyond me, right? Now, having Candace Owens lose that major Australian High Court, you can't go higher than that. She's just not allowed into Australia anymore. Back in 2016, Candace stopped paying rent of a $3,500 a month luxury apartment in Stamford, Connecticut. She then sued her landlord, claiming she withheld rent because the apartment had black mold. Candace alleged that the black mold made her ill, saying she suffered from rashes, coughing, asthma, cognitive impairment, inability to think clearly, emotional distress. So she submitted this photo, right, as proof of what she was claiming. Except, despite these claims, she continued living in the apartment without paying rent for about 6 months until it was repossessed by Housing Court in early 2017. Now, I don't know about you, but if you are claiming that where you are living, and it's a luxury apartment, so it means you've got money, or you supposedly have money, right? If you're saying that you are suffering from all these conditions based on where you are living, don't you think it would make more sense that you get out of where you are living and find somewhere else to live? I'm sure you're able to find somewhere else to live. I have friends of mine that lived in black mold and got the hell out when they found out that they had black mold, because it does significant amount of damage to your health. But Candace stayed there for an extra 6 months until it was repossessed. So it was literally, she was forced to get out. She refused to pay rent and then was like, okay, I'm going to get after she was forced to move. But until then, she refused to pay rent. How about that? And get this, the landlord countersued her, arguing that Candace herself was responsible for the mold and for unpaid rent. The court sided with the landlord, finding that Candace failed to identify a required expert witness to support her mold-related injury allegations. Remember the whole, trust me, bro? Trust me, bro, I've got this image of me. But I don't think that's enough to show that you got it from black mold. Where's the photo of the black mold? Or that it actually came from black mold? On April 1st, 2021, the Superior Court of Connecticut ordered Candace to pay the following damages to her landlord: $17,719 in unpaid rent and related charges, $2,657 in attorney's fees, capped under Connecticut law, $205 in court costs for the counterclaim filing, $440 for trial de novo filing. Total judgment, approximately $21,000. makes you wonder if the cognitive impairment was permanent. Would explain a lot. Here are the court documents. So this is the Superior Court, Candace Owens versus 3 Harbor Point Square. The order. The plaintiff of Connecticut commenced this action seeking damages resulting from an alleged mold condition in her apartment. Now, I don't think Candy Owens, here's the other side, I don't think Candace Owens really wanted to see the light of day, but her entire shtick is based around say the provocative thing, all eyes on me, I'm right, you guys are wrong. Hey, mummy slews of the internet, send me tips because I am the arbiter of all truth. Now, having said all that, recently, now it appears that Candace Owens isn't back online yet. She's taking a little bit of a break. But ladies and gentlemen, last night, over on her X account, she posted this. Don't worry about the gag order in the Charlie Kirk case. I plan to violate it on the world's behalf. The things I've discovered this past week are enough to burn the house down. Yes, Charlie was betrayed. By who? By everyone, guys. Everyone, except, you guessed it, Candy Owens. What a statement to make. It's enough to burn the house down. We're going to burn all of Turning Point down. Guys, what I've discovered, meaning, trust me, bro, I've come up with the most provocative thing you can possibly think of. And I'm going to unleash it. I mean, the other week, she didn't unleash anything. Nothing. And she was saying, literally after she released that text chain, and it was confirmed by Andrew Colvert that he was the one that sent it to members of the government, and the government member, whoever, it seems like he got a leak there, happened to supposedly send it to Candace, or maybe it's gone down the chain, and then it got to Candace. Things a bit worrisome, doesn't it? But something's not sitting right with me at all, and it shouldn't sit right with you guys, considering that she didn't even release any more of that text message thread, and she hasn't released anything else. That's the only thing that she can lay a claim on that she's actually given us that's gotten people talking. Everyone's just going, oh, Erika Kirk did it. All our audience members are doing it. Something doesn't sit right with me. This is so shifty. Turning Point USA needs to be looked into. That was Ian Carroll recently. He did another tweet or a post saying Turning Point needs to be looked into. They're at fault. Like, these people are nuts. They're sickos. But you know the thing about the gag order? Candace Owens isn't even on the gag order. She's not violating anything. She's not even part of it. There are other people that are part of it that can't actually talk, which would make it a little bit more sense why no one is really, I guess, telling her to stop. Because if they did, they probably would violate the gag order and interfere with the case. Sean Farash goes, let me explain to you what Candace Owens is doing. Candace is trying to coax those who are bound by the gag order in the Kirk assassination case, which is normal for cases of that magnitude, to ensure a fair trial, to violate the gag order. This could trigger a mistrial. If it does, she will say that a mistrial occurred because the case fell apart due to there being too many holes, when in reality, she will have caused the case's collapse due to procedural violations. When she is then threatened and possibly charged with witness tampering and obstruction, she will claim she is being censored and that they, which is the big word, they, all the time, we don't know who they are trying to shut her down for asking questions. This ends with no justice for Charlie Kirk and all eyes on Candace Owens, which is precisely what she wants. This is all transparently a grift, and it is time that everyone stops being afraid to call it out for what it really is. I've been calling it out for a long time. I saw it. So have you guys and many others. as well. Gag orders exist to protect the integrity of a trial. Candace Owens publicly saying she'll violate it could trigger a mistrial. She's turning Charlie's murder into a spectacle for clicks, making it all about herself. Grok. Here we go. It's from Cat Turd. The gag order in State versus Tyler Robinson binds over 3,000 potential witnesses from Charlie Kirk's Utah event to avoid prejudicing the assassination trial. Candace Owens, absent from the gathering and not subpoenaed, faces no direct legal constraint. Her violation pledge is rhetorical bravado for the unveiling alleged betrayals. This highlights the farce. Unbound speech clashes with her dramatic framing, risking defamation counters, but not contempt. That's Grok. That's AI, man. Even AI is saying this highlights the farce. She's a grifter, a charlatan. Says things for the sake of saying them because they get clicks. And if people are not careful, they will fall into her trap. I've been seeing people online, and this is like part of the cult video that I made. And even Dr. Jordan Peterson has pointed out her behavior is indicative of someone that has narcissistic psychopathy. It ain't good. In fact, it is quite concerning to watch how many people are in Candy Owens' cult and they don't really realize they're part of the actual cult. They really do think she's right. It'd be like me, for example, not telling you guys the truth, lying through the skin of my teeth, and everyone else that is on the conspiratorial lens or landscape joins in, and everyone else that loves the truth falls off. Sure, I could make a massive amount of money, but that's not what this is about. I don't do this show for money. Yes, it is helpful, and yes, you should get paid for working hard, but I don't do this for the massive paycheck. I mean, what massive paycheck to begin with, but still, Candace is definitely doing it for the paycheck. You can tell by her behavior. Easily. It doesn't take much. The gag order in question applies to witnesses in the Charlie Kirk case. Candace Owens is not a witness, so the gag order doesn't apply to her. She's a sociopath who's looking to dig up Charlie Kirk's corpse for social media engagement. She's discovered nothing. And again, you've got to wonder to yourself, right? If she has discovered something, and if Turning Point betrayed, or everyone has betrayed Charlie Kirk, everyone, including his wife. See, I don't know about you, but that last sentence certainly doesn't sit well with me. Everyone. That's a very big landscape to cover. Everyone, man, including his wife. How about that? Everyone is responsible, according to Candy Owens, who lost not one, but 2 court cases recently. She's probably going to lose a third with the Brigitte Macron. This is the consequences. But you know, the thing is, people will still latch on to this crazy person because it's like herd mentality. When you got no brains, no common sense, and no rationale, you've only got emotion, what do? You latch on to the one that is spewing the emotion. Anyway, that's enough from me. You guys take care, be blessed, and I'll see you all in the next video.